Hello everyone, I'm your host Thomas28 and welcome back to Cuboid Outpost. And today we're getting some tinks done. Starting with kinda like bone china. Turns out when bone meal and clay are mixed together, you can form porcelain clay to make an unfired crucible so we can start getting some lava. So really all you gotta do is take your clay balls, mix it with bone meal to make porcelain clay. Then take the porcelain clay, shape it into a thingamabob. I guess not. Oh, you need some aggregate. Did not think I needed more aggregate. I don't think I have any aggregate, like, anywhere. We have gravel. Gravel kinda works. But see, this is where automation comes in handy, because now we're producing stuff. So I could just steal some of the crushed diorite out of here, so we can make some more aggregate. Let me come back into here. Mix our crushed diorite with our clay to make some aggregate. Then take the clay and mix that with the aggregate to make an unfired crucible, and we might as well make like more than one just at the start because they're pretty slow. Then you just cook them in a furnace to fire them. And now we have 4 fired crucibles that we could throw in the back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this might be a good time to take our fluid tank, although it's full of water. Now we just need to put a heat source underneath the fired crucible and it will slowly rise in temperature until it gets hot enough to turn stone into lava. Different materials produce different amounts of lava. Then after stealing some andesite from our setup over there, throw in some hoppers on the top. Add in our andesite. And add a heat source. So now these are slowly producing very little bits amounts of lava. Now let's take a look at the crucible and see what's a better heat source. Fired crucible, crucible. They don't show the heat sources, which is pretty annoying. Oh, here we go. Crucible heat sources. So a torch is 2x, a campfire is 4x, glowstone is 5x, a block of nitro crystal is 100x. What's the best thing we can get right now? Okay, it seems like the best thing we could use right now is lava once we get the first bucket, because that's a 7x. Flint and steel is also pretty good, but I don't have a way to keep it lit forever because we lack, whatchamacallit, netherrack. So for now, we're going to have to very slowly generate some lava, and then we can slowly generate some cobblestone, and then we can build a doohickey to make it for us. And there we go. It took quite a while, but there we go. We have lava. Now I can go ahead and break these torches here and swap this, and now this is heat 7, heat 6, heat 6, heat 4, heat 2. Grab that, 7, 6, yep, that's good enough. And now we can make the next batch of lava even faster. And for now, I'll just put that back. We just need 1 bucket of lava to build a fully automatic cobblestone and generator. Now I did go ahead and craft the mechanical drill, so we can go ahead and set that up pretty easily. And if I remember, now that we have access to iron, I can also make a chute, which would be a bit better in this case instead of a, whatchamacallit. So we're going to use the smoosher here to make some iron sheets. Then we're going to make a chute. Is that going to work? Yes. It should work. It works in my mind, which is what matters. Now, I extended the belt this way so we can get some rotational power. And I forgot the building blocks. So let's go ahead and steal some andesite here and smooth this out to polished andesite. Now, if I remember correctly, we should be able to just do this. That's quite slow though. We want the drill to go a little bit faster. So let's grab some, first grab my wrench. Let's grab some cogs so we could speed it up just a little bit, maybe by a factor of 2. So you know the deal, just take a big cog, connect it to a little cog that makes it spin just a little bit faster. Actually, it's the opposite. Take the little cog, attach it to the big cog. No, that makes it go slower. I think it was right the first time. Oh, and then you need a big cog attached to the little cog. I remember now. So we do this, do that. Take off this one. And then attach a big one to that one. So if you do this, and now we do a big one back to the little one. And now it goes faster. Connect that there, connect the drill. And now we should be able to waterlog a drill by doing this. So you're going to surround it on all sides. Then, if you put the water, it works perfect. So now that it's waterlogged, we just have to take our bucket of lava, and we need the lava to touch right here. So we're going to go ahead and build a little encampment here. Is that the word? I don't think that's the word for it. Anyways, we're building a little funnel for the lava. That works better. Right here. And I think I need to go one more, just in case. Like so. So now the lava will flow down. And it makes stone. And then the drill breaks the stone. And now if we add a chute right here, it works. So now we could just block this off to stop the water from draining out all the time. Do this, do that, fill in the corners here. And now we have a fully automatic cobblestone generator. Not super fast, but we can always make it go faster. It's not really a big a deal. And now if we grab the cobblestone from off the floor and add in a drawer, we now have a fully automatic cobblestone generator. And we can speed it up later. So now that we have 8 cobblestone, that finishes the quest. It wants us to make 9 stone, and then it wants us to make 6 slabs, and then it wants us to make a stone barrel. And then of course, with 2 stacks of cobblestone, we can make a cobblestone quantum singularity for infinite cobblestone. So we're going to let that machine run for a while we wait on it. And then we'll have infinite cobblestone for no cost at all. And now that we have our stone, we can go ahead and deposit that. We really need more space in here. But now we can make this to make our stone slabs. And now we can make a stone barrel. And now that we have a stone barrel, we can make endstone, netherrack, blaze powder, and old fungus. I'm not actually sure how that's going to work, but I guess we'll figure it out. Now this is the time for the redstone singularity. So let's go ahead and swap out the blackstone one here for the redstone. So we can generate a bunch of redstone and throw that in there. Place you. And grab our redstone here. We're going to need quite a lot of this, as we're going to generate some netherrack. So luckily this is where all this lava comes in handy. Put that in there. That in here. And add some redstone to make netherrack. It's that simple. Now I do want to see, do we have fluid logistics yet? As we're unlocking quite a lot of stuff. So if we take a look here, fluid transport, thank you. Let's see, jerry cans need steel. No, they need buckets. So we could fill up a jerry can with lava, I think. XNet for fluids. Basic mechanical pipes are going to take steel. Those are the ones I would like to use. And what about pipes? Also takes steel. Can we make steel yet? I don't believe so. So I guess our best thing we can make right now is probably a jerry can, because that's pretty cheap, and it will be a lot easier than just doing this over and over again. So let's try it. So now that we got our jerry can, we can go ahead and steal all the lava out of there. Now we have 10,000. We could do this, and we can make more netherrack. Much faster this time. And of course, with 160 netherrack, we can make a netherrack quantum singularity. The only issue with that, though, is do I really want to sit here and grind out 160 blocks of netherite? I don't think I do. Not really. So this is something we'll want to automate for later. And then for endstone, this is going to take glowstone dust, which we can get from sieving dust on an iron mesh. That's also going to get us blaze powder as well. And then I believe that's it. Until we get up to netherite, we're not going to unlock anything else. Now, while we wait for everything to process, a quick word from our sponsor. Me! I'm the sponsor, because I have brand new art for my indie game, Starfleet Emergence. Take a look at it. Isn't it cool? Isn't it amazing? The game is coming pretty soon. I'm almost done with the demo. I'm just working with my artist to generate the art for some in-game assets, and then we're all set. But anyways, I've taken up enough of your time. Back to your regularly scheduled program. And finally, the last 3 ingots I need to make our iron singularity. I've been kind of holding off on stuff we were doing before while I waited for this guy to finish, but now that it's done, we can produce infinite raw iron, just like that. And then we can hit it with a hammer to make iron dust, but it does not look like we can smoosh it, which is pretty sad. But now I don't have to wait on the very slow create machine to make our iron. It's just done. So now we can grab this and start smelting a ton of iron, because I need to upgrade all of our flint all of our flint meshes into iron meshes. So now that we have infinite iron, I need to go ahead and replace these guys. Let me grab this one. We need to upgrade our sieves to iron sieves so we can actually get some more useful materials. So go ahead and get this, combine that with our iron, split that over here to create iron meshes. And now that we have create iron meshes, we also need to upgrade our drawers from the 2x2 to a 4x4 to account for the extra materials. So let me go ahead and throw those in there, and then add your andesite. Oh, that's not how that works. How do I throw the andesite in here? So on top? Seems like it. Throw in that one and that one. There we go, perfect. So now I have to break these. Oh, cool. They hold the contents. I did not expect that. I thought they were going to spill out everywhere. And these ones hold 8 stacks per drawer, which is not bad, but as you can see, there you go. Our first diamond. So let me go ahead and swap this out over here to make sure they all go in the right drawer. And there we go. All sorted. Now, this is the only one that's going to start producing a third input, which is the diamond. We need to upgrade the meshes to the diamond tier before these ones get any extra inputs. But you can see the diamond rate is pretty low. I believe it's like 5% or something, which we can actually just check if I typed crushed diorite right here. Uses, sifting, crushed diorite, create iron mesh, diamond, 7%. But it does increase the efficiency of getting silver and aluminum, as it adds an extra chance here. So now we have, what is it? I guess you just add them, right? Or, yeah, I think you just add them, and if I'm remembering my combinatorics correctly. Because if you have a 25% chance to get one, and a 17% chance to get one, then you essentially have, yeah, I think you just add them. So essentially you have like a 40, or like around a 40% chance to get one now, which is pretty effective, pretty solid. Now then, we need to sieve dust in an iron mesh to get a 4% chance of blaze powder. Multiply it 4% by 25 chances, and our odds are looking pretty good. 5 stacks later yields 7. 7 blaze powder, nice. But at least it didn't take too long. So now that we have the blaze powder, we need to go ahead and start working on old fungus. Ancient spores can be obtained by sieving silica dust blocks using a diamond mesh. If you haven't figured it out yet, diamonds can be obtained via the gravel or crushed diorite with an iron mesh. Now, since crushed diorite is pretty slow, and we have a gravel singularity, we're just going to be sieving a bunch of gravel to get the diamonds. Now you can see here, the odds are even lower, 2.5%. So, to get a single diamond mesh is going to take, I believe, 6 of these, 6 diamonds, but I think we can make a diamond quantum singularity, but it'll take 256 diamonds. So not the cheapest thing, but at least we can just spam the sieve, and it should work. Eventually. Several stacks of gravel later, and we yield 18 diamonds. Not bad. We're going to need a lot more than that, but it's a start. And now that we have our diamond mesh, we need to sieve blocks of silica dust for a 7.5% chance at our mycelium spores, which will let us get our witch water. And there we go. Pretty fast. Now, I did realize we also generated a bunch of stuff I don't need, like large ferns and salt, but, I mean, I'm guessing the salt will come in handy later. We were able to get salt pretty early on, and I don't know if it has like any actual use outside of other stuff, so let's go ahead and leave that. And now that we have the mycelium, we just need a little bit of dirt, and we're going to need some more barrels to make our witch water. So we should be able to just do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, add that to make mycelium. The mycelium will spread, and then we can make witch water. And there we go. Now that we have access to witch water, we can add sand to make soul sand, and now we can do some haunting recipes as well. But for now, we need to get netherwort, which we can assuming comes from sieving. So we can sieve it in a diamond mesh to get a 25% and a 10% chance at netherwort, which is pretty solid. Now let's see if we can get some nether, what's it called? Netherwort. I was going to say netherrack, but we already have that. There we go, 1, perfect. So let me go ahead and turn the rest of this into the other items. Like so, 2. Because now, if we grab a little bit of dirt and a little bit of gravel, we can turn the gravel and the dirt into coarse dirt. Then, and we got lucky, it's raining, which means the oak barrels will fill automatically. So now if we put coarse dirt in here, you get soul soil. And now we can take the soul soil, and if we grab some clay, we can use the clay in, what's the word I'm looking for? We can use the clay to make botany pots, and then we can use the botany pots to grow the netherwort. And now that we're growing netherwort, we can come back over here and take our porcelain clay and make ourselves a little porcelain doll, and then take the porcelain doll and combine it with hellfire to make a blazing doll. And now we can add this to a barrel of lava to spawn a blaze. Why do I want to spawn a blaze? I'm not quite sure. And why is my jerry can full of water? Can I empty this? I think I can empty if you just like right click into a hole. It puts 308. How do I empty a jerry can? Anyways, so now we take the blazing doll, right click it on that. It's progressing. It's going to summon a blaze because we need blaze rods for some reason. I'm not quite sure. That's also going to be useful for setting up the boiler from create. Now let's get rid of this guy. And it drops 0. So we're going to have to do this a couple of times. And after 3 more, we get a single blaze rod. Gotta love it. You gotta love the blaze rod drop rate. It's phenomenal. Now, lava production is really, really slow. So, instead of waiting here and trying to just, wait until we get up to enough netherrack to finish off this part, we're going to switch gears and start working on immersive engineering while we wait for all the lava to get produced. Because that's going to take a long time. As you can see, I made these blocks of uranium, and now we have a heat multiplier of 15, so it is a lot faster, but it is still extremely slow. So of course, as with every immersive engineering playthrough, we're starting with the coke oven. So we're going to need 36 bricks, 36 clay balls, 9 sandstone, and 27 coke bricks is the final thing. I do like that they show how much you actually need at the front, because I always forget the exact ratio, which is really, really annoying. And there we go, quest completed. These bricks have nothing to do with cola. And let's go ahead and post this guy right over here. I believe it's just a 3x3x3, if I remember correctly, which I've built it so many times, I probably should just have it memorized by now. Boom, coke oven. Let's go ahead and throw some coke in there. Throw some coal to turn into the coke, and also get a bunch of creosote. Now I wonder why I didn't get the achievement for this one. Oh, because I need to get a bucket of creosote oil first. Now, is this going to be very slow? It definitely looks like it. So now, while we wait for the creosote to get generated, we're going to make a little bit more copper sheets here. Let's make 3 more. Then we're going to combine the sheets with our wire cutters to make some copper wire. Then we can take our copper wire and do nothing, because it's all locked behind the creosote. Nice. So for now, let's grab a bucket. Let's make a bucket out of some not so goodium. And let's see if we can get ourselves a bucket of creosote. Not yet, we're at half a bucket. And you know what they say, there's no problem that can't be solved by adding more coke ovens. So there we go, 1 bucket of creosote. Don't drink this. Quest completed jerry can as well. And now we can make ourselves some treated logs, which we're going to need even more, because the quest requires us to have 32, which will take 4 buckets. But while we wait for that, I could probably start looking at the next thing, which is the kiln bricks, which will take 8 kiln brick. Where did I get osmium from? Did I miss osmium at some point? Raw osmium. Osmium pieces are sifted from gravel in an emerald mesh. Huh, at a 10% chance. Emerald is pretty light right now, though. We don't actually have many. Interesting. So I need to upgrade the create ones to diamond so we can start getting emeralds automatically. That'll save me a lot of time. And there we go. Treated wood planks. Done. Osmium, a key element for use in advanced mechanisms, can be made through alloying carbon nanotubes, iron, and that'll do in the induction smelter. You've made one of those already, right? No? You're gonna need some invar first. Consider making an alloy kiln to get started. Osmium is actually a pure element, so even our science division is uncertain as to the actual process here, but there's something hinky about that that'll do stuff that makes it seem possible. Okay, gotcha. So osmium is going to be made through alloying, even though normally you can't do it like that. Okay, that's going to save us some time. Then we might as well go ahead and make the engineer's crafting table while we wait on other stuff. We're almost completed with the thingamabob. I forget the name. What is it called? It is the... Man, I can't remember. It's slipping my train of thought. This thing, the Netherrack quantum singularity. We're almost done with it. So now that we have this, oh, I need to make... Why do I need an iron ingot? Oh, we need a treated fence, which will take stick. And you do the stick there, do this to make that. Then we need an iron ingot. Where's all my iron? Oh, I think it's in here. Yep, there it is. Iron. And that's the map. And now we can go ahead and make the engineer's workbench from all of the stuff we just crafted. And now we need to make the blueprint components. So we need aluminum, copper, blue dye, and paper. Should be pretty easy. Paper we can make from... Not even that. Yeah, we can make paper from kelp, but we actually already have these materials. Good thing I had them growing over here. So that's the paper. We need lapis, which I think is either over here or I threw it into one of these drawers, which I did. There's our lapis. We're going to have to get more of that later on. But for now, we could do this into dye. Then take the sugarcane into paper. Then we need aluminum and copper, which... Where's my aluminum? Aluminum. Then I should have copper in here. Now we can take all that together and make the engineer's blueprint. And now we can throw down this table out here. Throw this guy in there. And now we can craft components. The first one we need to craft is the vacuum tube, which will take connecting glass, nickel plate, copper wire, redstone, and glass. It is perfect. One vacuum tube, well, one set. And now we need an iron mechanical component, which will take this stuff, iron sheet, copper ingot, to make the iron mechanical component. And now we can make the garden cloche, which is just stuff we have. Perfect. Don't have to craft anything else. Just come to the crafting bench, type in garden cloche, and make it. And now we can grow anything in the garden cloche. We're going to need a lot of power to run it, and water, and a way to get the water inside. But other than that, it's pretty fully automatic. And now, finally, after hours of toiling, we have enough netherrack to produce the Netherrack singularity. And now we could produce infinite netherrack. Let's take out the dust, throw in this to make infinite netherrack. And oh, it's actually not that fast. It's only 34.13 per second. Oh, this is a Wakidium generator. Why do I even have a Wakidium generator here? I need a that'll do generator, which I guess we can use the clay one for now. Don't need any more clay, but we need a lot of netherrack, because now that we have infinite netherrack, we can come back here, crush it, and make gold. So we're going to have to add this to the other line. Now we could just come out here, throw down our that'll do resource generator right next to this one, add in our netherrack quantum singularity, and I will need an andesite funnel, which I should have an extra one left over somewhere. Maybe in here? Yes, perfect. So now we can go ahead and start sifting out our crushed gravel. I mean, not crushed gravel. And set this to out. And now we need to add a mesh to this. So we're going to need some of these diamonds here. And then I think you have to just upgrade it all the way through, unless we can just skip the mesh. I don't actually remember. Diamond mesh. Create diamond mesh. Diamond mesh. No, you have to make it all the way from the start, which is a little annoying. Now we have the diamond mesh, turn it into the create diamond mesh. Then we could just go ahead and pop this guy right into our sifter, add a drawer, and now we have fully automatic crushed netherrack production. Now, what do we actually get out of crushed netherrack? Oh, I actually need to also do this, so let me come in here, grab that. to finish off the quest. Put that back in there. And now, crushed netherrack can produce for us gold pieces at a 35% chance and netherite scrap at a less than 1% chance. So every 100 times this runs, there's a 1% chance we get it. Now I wonder, what is the point of the brass sifter? It doesn't seem to do anything faster, which seems kind of odd. But okay, now we just need to add a drawer and we're all set there. And bam, and there we go. Fully automatic. You love to see it. Now the only issue here though is there's kind of a bottleneck. So the thing about the millstone and this guy, they run faster if we give them more speed. So if I want everything to go faster, I need to hook up this cogwheel and make it go faster here. But then it's going to multiply the amount of stress by a lot. And there we go. A lot more gears, but now it's going a lot faster. Now they're using 128. They're all using 128 by the looks of it. But they're all faster. So now we're processing our materials even faster. It did I can't talk. It did put quite a lot of stress on the system, as now we're using over half, but that's still pretty good. That means we can even crank it up a little bit higher and it would still work without overstressing, but I think at this speed it's good enough. Now then, by using the magic of letting the game run while I edit the video, we now have nearly 1,000 gold pieces and 25 netherite scrap. Pretty low rate, honestly, but not too bad for what we need it for, because that's just enough to finish the quests. It's a scrap from the nether, right? Oh, I get it. I get it now. It's a scrap from the nether, right? Anyways, now we can make gold. Shift K into our gold ingots, or we could just do that to make the raw gold. And I can't process these yet too efficiently, right? Like, I can't use the smoosher to smoosh it. And then until we get this, oh, that doesn't even get you double. Is there any ore multiplication in this pack, now that I think about it? Okay, so there's the standard mechanism ore multiplication, but I believe we can also just make a gold singularity, which means it doesn't matter. Yeah, so we can eventually have infinite gold anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Take out some that'll do ingots, throw that back into here. And then once we craft ourselves netherite, all we have to do to finish off this chapter is knot from Stonehenge by collecting endstone so we can produce ender pearls. Switch link, what is that? Anyways though, ender pearls, pretty easy. Just sift crushed endstone. So we're going to have to add even more to our setup outside over here. Just add another line, which is not too bad because I can just tear down this. Now that we have 2,000 cobblestone, we could just make a cobblestone singularity and then just keep expanding outwards to end the endstone line right here. Now we grab our gold ingots, come over here, combine that with our scrap to make our first piece of netherite. And I'm not actually sure what we need the netherite for. But for now, that technically completed getting no tinks done. Now I still have to do this to get the ender pearls because I'm sure these are going to come into use later on in a variety of applications. Yeah, for ender dust, actually, do I even need this for anything in particular? Enderium ingots, do we need those for anything in particular? Yes, upgrades later. So not super important, but it is something I can work on in the background while we wait on other things, because once again, the bottleneck is lava. And you can see we do have a little bit here. Let me grab just enough to finish the quest. The fact that it's going to do that every time is really annoying. So now to work on osmium, we need to go ahead and make ourselves a kiln. So let's go ahead and craft this guy. Should be one of the easier things, as it's sandstone and bricks. And it's only 8 of these. Do I need 2? Maybe. Maybe we can use 2. We probably won't, but it won't be bad to have. Now where's my engineer's hammer? Over here. We'll go ahead and toss these out on the lawn over here, next to the coke ovens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you go next to it. It's a shame you can't share walls. That would make these easier. And there we go. 2 alloy kilns, and now we can produce our invar. And invar is made from 2 iron and 1 nickel. Now let's see, I don't believe we have access to the nickel singularity yet, but it only takes 160. And we have 931 nickel pieces, so we might be able to craft it. So the nickel singularity is going to cost 160 ingots. We have a ton of nickel pieces. Let's see how many ingots, how many raw we get. 64, 64, 64, 128. Okay, I think that's enough. So now we just have to smelt it in our Wackidium furnaces, and I am making more that'll do, because I keep needing to process that'll do to make more singularity resource generators. So we'll swap these into there to make a bunch of raw nickel, and then we can have a nickel singularity for infinite nickel. And in conjunction with our iron singularity, we could produce infinite amounts of Invar. Now with all the nickel done, we can convert it into the nickel singularity and produce infinite amounts of Invar. Now we're all set. I should probably make like another one of these, but hey, nickel, massive amounts of it too. And I believe it's, what was the ratio of this? Was it 2 to 1? So Constantan is 1 to 1. For Invar, it's a 2 to 1 ratio of iron to nickel. It doesn't really matter too much because it's infinite, but it's good to always remember it. Now, coal goes in. That's not where coal goes. Iron and nickel, and then we can split that like so. Iron and nickel, more coal, to produce our Invar. Now to make the induction smelter, we're going to need a blast furnace, a redstone flux coil, Invar gears, and a machine frame, but this is all pretty easy stuff. Iron, glass, tin gears. How do we make the gears without other machines? We could do a metal press from Immersive Engineering, the multi-servo, or we could just make it with nuggets. I think we'll just make it with nuggets for now, and then we can make the multi-servo press later. Does not look that difficult. We'll need some more alloys of stuff, like bronze and Constantan, but overall, these these resources are infinite, so it's honestly not going to be that big of a deal. So now I should have everything we need to make this. So we're going to need a furnace, upgrade it into a blast furnace. Then we're going to need a machine frame, which will take some tin gears, which they need tin. Oh, this one's Invar, this one's tin. Where's all my tin? We definitely do not have a tin singularity, but we do have some tin in here. Iron nugget into tin gear. That is the wrong type of nugget. Tin gear into machine frame. Then take the machine frame, and we're going to need a redstone flux coil, which will take some gold, which I thought I put all the gold in there. Actually, it's right here. Gold. What else are we going to need? We have the redstone. We have the Invar. We're going to need a little bit of sand. And that should be everything we need. Redstone flux coil. Sand. Invar gears. We need 2 of these. To make 1 induction smelter. And we'll go ahead and put this guy right here. And now that we have the induction smelter, we need to grab carbon nanotubes. I believe it was Wackidium? I don't quite remember. Induction smelter. That'll do an iron. So it's a good thing I was making more that'll do. That'll do. Carbon nanotubes and iron. Let's see, I got more iron outside. Let me grab that. I can't wait to have everything just feed into the AE system. That's going to make everything go so much more smoothly. Now we come in here, throw all of that inside, and now we can produce osmium ingots through magical alchemy. Somehow, combining iron, that'll do, and carbon nanotubes produces osmium. How? The scientists don't even know. But with that, we have completed getting immersed. And what's really nice is you can see each of these are starting to glow as we complete more and more stuff because we're unlocking even more, which is really nice. It means we're getting faster through the rest of the chapters. I was thinking that each chapter was going to be like pretty sequential, but since we're completing stuff as we do the first chapter, it's actually going to go a lot simpler. Like it looks like this chapter, A New Appreciation, like alloy, just has alloys. So that's not going to really take a whole episode. But now that we're done with getting immersed and getting no tinks done, we should have full access to getting mechanized and getting digital, which is gonna start making everything so much faster. Now it looks like, yeah, it does want us to use blocks of gold, well, blocks in general, which makes sense since they're infinite to start producing our circuits and circuitry, but that's not really an issue since everything is infinite. There's a zombie outside on my lawn. Anyways, though, all that leaves now, and the last thing to finish, is making endstone, which is still very, very, very slow. And now the moment I've been waiting for. Infinite endstone. For infinite ender pearls. For the infinite production of other infinite goods. So now I can go ahead and throw this guy up onto this one over here. Plunk. To make infinite endstone, which will get milled into crushed endstone, which will then get processed into the drawer to hopefully make some ender pearls, which is going to take quite a while, I guess. Wait, did I put a... There's no mesh in here, so it's not actually doing any sifting. Add in one mesh, and now we can sift our crushed endstone, and then hopefully in a while we'll have ender pearls. Now to finish off that quest, and I was looking at the endgame stuff, to finish off that one, we just need a single ender pearl. Just one. For now though, let me grab out the... What, did I hear a skeleton? Buddy, get out of here. Grab this, and there's not a backlog, so I just have to pull it directly out of the sifter to finish off that quest, and then maybe there's the ender pearl? Nope. Grab that, there we go. And throw this back into here. Throw you into there. Oh, that's regular netherrack, I'll just take that out. And now we can wait for that. So while we wait for that, we did accumulate enough of the other resources to make the singularities for these ones as well. So now we can add in all of our silver. There's no... Oh, I have to turn it into ingots. Whoops. And now, after minutes and minutes of grinding away, we should have enough of every ingot to fully make the quantum singularities that I wanted. So now we could do copper ingot first, followed by silver, then gold, aluminum, tin, zinc, and invar. Invar is pretty cool. So it doesn't, since invar is an alloy, and there's no, like, invar ore, it just gives you invar blend, which technically you could use to just make more iron and nickel. Which in this pack doesn't matter since we have infinite iron and nickel, but in other applications that could be pretty useful. And with invar done, that's a whole new batch of singularities crafted. And getting us even closer to 100% completion. I'm not actually sure if I'm going to go to 100% completion, but it is cool to think about. Throw that in here. Now we have a whole bunch of singularities. And a whole bunch of quests unlocked. So now, next episode, we're going to get started on getting mechanized and getting digital. Those are going to be pretty important for moving on towards the rest. But then looking at the rest, a new focus is just about making food. A new appreciation is mostly just about mods. There's nothing super important here, and it should be done pretty easily once we have a better AE system up and running. A new mission is about the same with Industrial 4 going, so really it's mostly going to be at this part here to finish off the pack. How long that's going to take episode-wise, I'm not super sure, but we're just going to keep going until I feel like I've had a pretty good fun time with the pack. But, as always, it's that time. I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you all next time.